All right, peace, family. This is Brandon B. Dixon. You tune into another episode of the Power of Ownership podcast. We live again. We're on the 48 Laws of Power series. This is part 11. And again, my name is Brandon B. Dixon. I am a serial entrepreneur, mortgage broker, community activist, sales trainer, published author. My book, Sales the Nuclear of Any Profession, is out right now. Go ahead, content is on Amazon. Let Steven go ahead and introduce himself, and then we'll go get right into it.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Steven Contreras here, geologist in Houston, Texas. Kind of like a Renaissance man, studier of the arts and sciences, and just here to have a good time. Hope you guys enjoy.
Right. Let me. If you hear fireworks in the background, my neighbors are still popping fireworks, so that's kind of probably what you hear in the background right now. It's not gunshots, believe me. So it is still fireworks out here. It's the 7th of July. Believe it or not, it was quiet on the 4th, but they made more noise this weekend as opposed to Thursday, I guess.
Because everyone was working on Friday.
Right. So I'm not sure what's going on about that. But just to recap, if this is the first episode you happen to catch, if this one goes viral or something to that effect, we've been recapping this book by Robert Greene. It's called The 48 Laws of Power. It's one of my favorite books. I read it about 17 years ago, my cousin and I, and it kind of shaped business for me. It kind of helped me propel to get my first success in business. So it was one of those books that kind of I studied like a textbook. We already recapped laws 1 through 24. Now I'm on 25. So let's just dive right into it because we don't want to keep y'all too long. This law right here is one of my favorites. Let's go right into it. Here, if I can pull up my notes here. Law number 25 is recreate yourself. And I really, really took this one to heart 17 years ago. I came with when I was in the music industry. I talked about yesterday on the episodes that I had all these different businesses going, and I recreated myself, and I always teach people to remanufacture yourself as well. And the reason why is that if you look at where you're at now, if your life is where you're at, not where you want it to be now, it's because of some actions that you took. So a lot of the actions that I took 17 years ago, I didn't like. I didn't like where I was. So I totally remanufactured myself, totally recreated myself, and became a new character, a larger than life character that I stuck to and that I wanted the public to see me as. And so when the public saw me as this, I had to continue to play that role, which made me in turn better. And again, I like to talk about how I thought about it then, what I'm thinking about it now. Same thing. I still preach the same thing. This is one of those laws that didn't change. Like, you gotta, I don't care how old you are, if you're not where you want to be, look in the mirror, recreate yourself, remanufacture yourself, rebrand yourself, take all the old habits, and you got to erase those and come up with some new, better habits, best practices.
Yeah, I really like this one too. Like, always recreating yourself, and it also depends on like who you're associating with too. Like, you can always change your appearance based on who you're interacting with, right? So like, because everyone can't handle certain types of stereotypes or certain types of characters that you can create, right? Like, if, for example, like, you should always control it. So if you're in with your friends, you only think a certain way, you should always play to those people's needs. Like, you want to always master your emotions, play to their levels, and always try to recreate yourself in that way too.
Right. Like I said, it's the only thing that's dangerous about this law that I would say is that when I recreated this character, you got to make sure that this character, you're not this character in your family life. So when I created this character, and it kind of one of the models that I created my character, especially in music, was after Pimp C. And I would try to be like this cocky, arrogant, larger than life, over the top guy at all times, which was kind of cool as far as business. A lot of people like that image, but in your personal space, people don't like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch, like, when you recreate yourself on your personal and your family life. You gotta kind of balance that out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the hardest things to do. Is like if you're not ready for it, right, to recreate yourself, because it takes a lot of self-reflection. Like, okay, what do I need to be doing to like better myself? Try to get those steps going and things
Right.
like that.
One of the first things, like I say all the time, you got to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, then you'll never progress. A lot of people still live in delusion land. A lot of people are still delusional, think they got it all figured out, and that they think that it's luck that makes a person propel and excel in life. And most of the time, what's keeping you back, the reason why you're not where you want to be, is in the mirror. It's all on you. You're the
Yeah,
person, not anybody else.
yeah, it's no one else to blame either. Like we're given certain tools, and it's our labor in the end that shows our result, right? So it
Right.
all comes
So,
back to the man in the mirror. You're right.
right. So a lot of people just have to be mature enough to, like, hey, listen, um, it's my fault. It's not anybody else. Everybody else, points the finger at everybody else. Boom, 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 boom. And you look at them 10 years from now, they're the same. 20 years from now, they're exactly the same. I had a situation come up. I'm not going to, go too deep in it, but, a person I've been knowing for a long time is the same person that I've been knowing 15 years ago. Hadn't changed, same money problems, same, hadn't changed. You're going to have to eventually get out of those delusions and remanufacture yourself. Everything that you reflect on, everything when I did this, I reflected on damn near every conversation I had that I can recall, and thought about, how can I get better? What can I do different? How would how could I react better? How can I do this better? And that's one of the reasons, not to go too deep because I don't want to keep people too long, but that's one of the reasons why I don't subscribe wholeheartedly to astrotheology, because astrotheology says that since I'm born on a certain date, I have to be a certain way. I don't believe that. I think that you could always, that you come in under those certain energies and certain attributes, but you always could re-landscape your horizon. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, for sure. Like it's always about how to brand yourself, how to take the energies we use and try to create a better life for ourselves. And like speaking to your friend who hasn't changed, like that's on him. You can't worry about things like that unless when people want to change, they will, and if they don't, they don't. One of the hardest things to do is to train yourself to let go, because sometimes that's all we have. All we have is just ourselves. You can never play. You can't ever point the finger at anyone else. It's always on the individual.
Well, a lot of people still, are 30 plus, 40 plus, still blaming other people for their downfalls, which,
Oh yeah,
maybe they'll never realize it. Maybe they will one day realize, like, hey, listen, unless I do it myself, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Plain and
yeah,
simple.
yeah. It's the hope. Hope that everyone can turn and reflect inwards. That's the goal.
Right, right. Let's go to law number 26 real quick. Keep your hands clean. Um, and what I thought about this 17 years ago was totally different. I was in a totally different mind frame then. And what I thought it meant was have other people, because I'm influenced a lot by hip hop. I'm a real Bay head, meaning that I like Bay Area music. A lot of Bay Area music has a lot of street stuff in it, and and that kind of shapes, without, in my community, without lack of, with lack of leadership and lack of male energy. So we get our male energy from hip hop a lot. So what I took that as at that particular time, 17 years ago, was use other people to do my dirt and keep my hands clean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It's a different way to look at it for sure.
Right. So that's how I used to take it. Like I would, have girlfriends or something like that, or I have friends that did certain things, and I would kind of manage them, and that way I kept my hands clean and kept always looked like the good guy. Always been squeaky clean. Just using manipulation and using my brain, my intellect to maneuver and use people. Um, it's morphed now to mean something totally different. And one of the ones that changed my mind about this rule is in 2005 when we went through Katrina, in Louisiana. I heard Bill O'Reilly say something. And again, I'm not a Bill O'Reilly fan. I just happened to, was watching the news, and he said this on the news. He said anybody can make a million, but in order to make 10 million, you got to be honest. And what I took that is not just honest, like not engaging in criminal activity, but it meant honest, like being honest to yourself,
Hmm.
kind of in line with law number 25. So these kind of relate. So always keep your hands clean is almost symbolic of this. Be honest with yourself. Keep the slate clean as far as you know. Being honest to yourself and being honest about what you do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, like
Yeah.
trying to weasel your way into money or success doesn't work. I talked about this on the 8th. Trying to knock somebody else or trying to weasel your way or trying to scam your way into success doesn't work.
Mhm.
And also trying to get there under delusional pretenses won't work either. So it's just honest work.
Yeah. It's hard work when it comes down to it. You gotta work hard for what you want. And I try not to get my hands dirty at all. I guess I've never been that type of person who's always wanted to, like, never wanted to, like, stab someone in the back. Like, it's just not me. Like, I even hate even thinking about those emotions. It's like not very good energy. It's like horrible for the human body. But I mean, from an emotional standpoint, right? Like, if you know you're doing something wrong, it always comes back to you. Like, you're the person who has to deal with those guilty feelings, those like say like those negative emotions, jealousy, greed, lust, adultery, stuff like that. It always comes back on your conscience because from an emotional standpoint, you always want to try to stay clean. You don't want to give in to the negativity that's everywhere. It's really hard to do, in my opinion. But that's
Right.
that's that's how I see it. From an emotional standpoint.
Right. I mean, like I said, there's a couple of different symbolic ways that you could could interpret this. Another thing is that um it doesn't mean, this is another thing that I'm mature from, it doesn't mean that you should always be in a higher place. You should get your hands dirty and roll up your sleeves when it comes down to getting down to work. But at the same time, you got to realize that you're the top of the business, so you got to clean up afterward. So you almost have double duties in your mind.
Yeah, I
So
agree to that. Yeah, that's
right.
true.
So that's kind of how I take it as well. Like I used to, when I first heard this, keep your hands clean. That means all right, put all the responsibility that I feel is underneath me, and give that to somebody else, cleaning the toilets and all that stuff. And I learned, hey, you can't be above, especially for a dream. You can't be above cleaning the toilets because this is your toilets. So, but at the same time, you got to clean the toilets and then clean up and freshen up and still be the face of the business. So you got double duties. So always keep your hands clean means be clean and sanitary, meaning that you don't forget that who you are, but you don't be scared to roll up your sleeves as well.
Yeah, I like that. I agree to that. You always be ready for a challenge. You gotta be ready for it.
Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep rolling with the laws because clicking on and clicking off, you might have a problem with the link. So let's just keep on going for like the next 4 laws real quick, and just make this all one episode real quick.
All right, that's fine.
So let's go to law number 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. This is what I was huge on 17 years ago. This ties directly into law number 25, like recreate yourself. When I created this character and I created a following based on this character. I found a need and a niche, and I wanted to exploit that niche at that particular time, especially in the music industry. I mean, all the big people in the music industry, Nicki Minaj has the Barbies, everybody had their niche, that they and then they created this cult-like following. Same thing we're doing now. This one hadn't really changed, I'm talking to the people that's like us, that's want to be better in life, that want to own stuff, that want to be leaders in the community, that want to affect the community positively, that want to, the overachievers, the nerds, the Freemasons, so on and so forth. This is who I'm speaking to. So we create this cult-like following again. That one hasn't really changed. So, that's a really important rule. You got to create a cult-like following.
Yeah, and in fact, it comes down to, I guess, in the material aspect of branding, right, is what you're getting at. Right. You want to create your brand. You want people to, be drawn towards that energy of the brand to be able to sell yourself to the public.
Well, the cult-like following is something a little bit deeper. It's almost it says play on people's need to believe. So people need to sometimes live their life vicariously through somebody else. So that's what we're creating. That's what you got to create, especially with artists and stuff like that. Artists sell because, the opposite sex want to, get at them, and the same sex want to be them.
True.
And they really believe that what this person is saying, and they kind of live their life through those lyrics. So it's almost the same thing with being a businessman or being a public figure. You gotta, people that can't or unable to do what we're doing, we got to give them something to believe in. That's just true supporter. People that don't have the talent to do what I'm doing, I got to be that spokesman and give them something to believe in it and push forward for them. So it's almost like I'm playing for that particular team.
Yeah, that's a really noble way of looking at things, for sure. I guess I'll quote Spider-Man here, with great power comes great responsibility, right? There's a dark side to this rule too that you gotta be careful with. You don't want to, that's what Hitler did, right? He took the ideas, the beliefs that took over the world for a brief period of time. So when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, you always want to make sure there's a balance. Try to do everything for the right reasons. And when you go down the rabbit hole of creating your brand or cult-like following, it could go south real fast.
Well, I mean, I think it just depends on your intentions. If your intentions is positive, then it's hard to go south. And like I said in previous episodes, if you stand like a cop and it's hard to shoot at you or land at you, it's going to be hard for people to misconstrue anything that you say as negative. So if you continue to be positive energy, it's going to be hard. Even if people take the negative, the worst thing, my worst thing is going to be so much better than some other people's best thing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So you guys, it's like a 180 kind of thing, I guess.
Right. So I mean, it's going to be, unless your intentions are bad, it's going to be hard to twist it. Because like I said, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So once people let power go to their head, that's when it could corrupt. So, but if you stay grounded, it's going to be hard I already know my purpose, so it's hard for me to actually. It's going to be hard for it to go south anywhere because I already know what I got to do, and I already know what I'm supposed to do.
But it's changed, right, over your whole life. The whole process has changed, right? That's what I was trying to get at. It's people, when they're first reading this, the book morphs over time. So like if they're not in the right headspace and reading these laws, then it can go south.
Right. Yeah, for other people, not other than myself, that's reading this and trying to create this cult like following. Um, I believe that yes, you can, create this cult like following, and if your intentions are negative, yeah, you can have some people follow you. But that's what it's all about. I can't tell you what not to do. This is your destiny. This is your playing field. So you know power is when you not only can put other people's mind in your mind, but have control other people with your mind. That's real power. So and this is the 48 laws of power. So that is one of the things of power. So you just have to know what to do with that power when you get it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true. So I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, like just
right.
because there's always a balance to both sides.
Right. Let's go to law number 28 real quick. Interactions with boldness. This is another one of my favorites as well. This is little series is probably some of the juiciest parts of the book. This probably a little stretch right here, 5 or 6. Um, Always be bold. Always, do it to the extreme. This one hadn't changed from 17 years ago when I first read the book. With this fits my personality, and knowing myself, I know how I get down. So that's why I never did any drugs, smoked any weed or anything like that, or drank, because I know I have an addictive personality. I do things big. I don't just do things minute. I try to do everything bold. So this fits my personality. And Grant Cardone came out with a book about the same thing as kind of how I was thinking 17 years ago. It's called 10X. And the theory behind 10X is that if you have a goal, you just take that goal and do times 10. So let's say, for example, if your goal is I want to save $1,000 by the end of the month, you change that to I want to save $10,000 by the end of the month. And the goal is, I mean, the game is if you don't reach your goal. Let's say you get to $5,000. That's still 5 times better than your original goal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going to always reach your goals, but if you shoot for 10 times that, look how much more exponentially your goals have. You shattered your original goals.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Only a coward lives in fear, right? So like you always have to do things that to the best of your ability, try to reach for the stars. It's like it's almost like common sense at this point, like you've already gone through the other laws and you want to make sure you're setting high enough goals. Like you say, even if you don't get it, at least you're close. And I always try to do things to like the best, right? To be the best, you have to be your best, right? And so that's what I'm always trying to do. Always setting, pushing myself to the limit. Really, always trying to outwork everyone else because I know I can.
Right. So yeah, like I said, always be bold. Like um, I mean, sometimes boldness offends people. When I tell people I'm about to take over the mortgage industry in Houston, that offends some people. I'm here to disrupt the mortgage game. That offends some people. So and a lot of people don't understand like the reason why they're offended because it reminds them of what they're not doing, and they don't like that
True.
particular feeling. So they've become complacent, content with what they got going on, and somebody comes with some energy and now reminds them, hey, I got to work a little bit hard, and then they don't want to do that. They became comfortable, so they don't
Story,
want to do
story,
that.
story of my life right there with my coworkers. They
Right,
get they get so mad. They just see me with all this energy on it.
right, right. So, but don't let that deter you. Always enter with boldness. Always, keep your energy and set your goals bold and dare bold. Dare greatly.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
let's go to 29 real quick. uh, plan all the way to the end. This was, and I'll tell you what it was 17 years ago. This was one of my greatest strengths because I'm a great planner. I'm a great brainstormer. I'm a great masterminder. So I would always look at different angles, come up with different angles of what could happen if I do this. Then because I majored in computer science. So if this happens, then I do this. If this happens, then I do this. If this happens, then I do this. If you read my book, that's kind of how my sales approach, my 7-step sales methodology is set up. If then, almost like a computer program. If the customer, then I say this. If they do this, I'd say this. If they do this, I say this. So I'm a great planner. This is the catch, though. This is the caveat. I learned, this is how it morphed. I learned to stop over planning and just let, even like with the podcast. The podcast, no way we should be airing right now. We have no intro. We have no computer equipment. We're just winging it. No scripts, unscripted. We're learning as we go. But the point is, instead of waiting till I wanted to wait till I get to a certain amount of pounds and look good on camera and all that stuff. By that time, another 100,000 podcasts have been formed.
True.
And instead of having zero, we started out with 0 subscribers. We got 900 subscribers, even with it being like an amateurish production. So we're building up as we go. So before I would overplan to a T. And what changed my mind about that is that listening to Mark Cuban said perfection is the enemy of profit. So by the time you wait to have everything perfected, you overthink everything. So just do it. Just jump in the pool and learn how to swim.
That is the best way to learn. There's 2 things I've learned over probably the last year and a half with this law. Like I said, I've always been a good planner too. I always try to how my brain is. I try to categorize everything, try to plan. I can see my life in about 20 years ahead of where I'm at right now. And because I'm able to do that, I always maybe overthink when I was a little bit younger, or I didn't think hard enough, I was a little naive. So before I graduated college, I had a job lined up to go work in Brazil, and I didn't have a backup plan. I'm like, okay, I got this job in Brazil. I'm going to go and work down there in 3 months, and everything's going to be good, But then the oil market crashed 3 months before I graduated school, and I lost my job, and I didn't have a backup plan. I had to learn the hard way. And I started working as a bartender and things like that. And then from just recently, over the last 6 months or so, I'd say I used to always overplan as well. I was like, okay, well, I don't want not to have anything happen to me. And now I'm over planning every single second. But now I'm kind of just letting everything flow because that's how it's supposed to be. You want to have that nice fluid connectivity to your daily routines and daily actions. So you can always plan ahead. If you don't like where you're at, do something about it. Plan for those things that you want to change, and never be complacent, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, like I said, just do it. Have a somewhat plan, a skeleton plan, and then fill in the details as you go on. Now you can see what works and what doesn't work. Now we can see what type of shows get the most views. So on and so forth. What type of content, what works better, and as have these episodes already on record as we build up the clientele and the subscribers and the fan base and the cult-like following. Then we could go from there. But if we would have waited, and there would be no Power of Ownership podcast, somebody might come along and fill that void.
Yep, and that's how the universe works too.
Right. So you could plan till the end. My thing is I bridge that now. Have a skeleton plan till the end, start the plan, and then fill in the details as you go.
And try not to get distracted either. It's hard.
Right. So let's go on to law number 30. Let's do 30 and 31, then we could call it a night here, and then we'll catch it on the almost done. After that, we'll have 16 more. So make your accomplishments seem effortless.
Yep.
this is a big one to me. And we used to practice this all the time. Um, and we used to practice all the time for the wrong reason. Um, and now I kind of switched it up. Let me explain. So, um, we used to make a lot of good plays, when when we started our business, and people always ask us, people, being nosy. Well, how did you do this? How did you do that? And we used to, it's nothing, man. It's easy. It's easy, but people hearing that's easy now felt that they could do what I could do, and they wanted to jump in my lane since I said that it was easy. And it seemed like it was easy because people don't see the struggle. They just see the tip of the iceberg. They don't see the big, massive iceberg underneath the water. So it kind of backfired on us. So, in their mind, it already seems easy. Then us confirming that it was easy, now everybody they think they can, make some easy money by doing what we do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's always harder, like than people think it is, and that's why you have to parade. You have to keep your emotions in check, right? Like you want to make it seem easy to the outside, because even though they don't know how much work has actually gone into everything that we've done or what y'all are trying to do, it makes it seem effortlessly. It's like that aurora is like beaming off of you, and they can just sense it, even though they don't see how much hard work is actually takes to be successful.
Well, now, like I said, with the invention of you got camera phones everywhere. This was years ago before the invention of social media, YouTube, and everything like that. Now, I think this law is the opposite. Now, I'm going to show you the progress. I'm going to show you the rise, the journey. Going from obscurity, getting better and better and better and better and better, and then showing you where I'm at right now. Now you can look back, look where we was, in 2020, 2021. Hey, look at the shows in early 19,
Hmm.
you know, and now you can see the progression. So now you can't say this was effortless. You can now have a video log of the effort that it took in order to get where we're going to go. Does that
Yep,
make sense? So,
yeah, it makes this it's one of the benefits of social media and the internet in itself, being able to track all that,
right. So
track
now,
your life mission. Because in the end, when you make it to the top, and when you make it to the top, and you've done it how you wanted to do it with the people you want to do it with, it makes it so much better. Than it's almost an unexplainable feeling.
right. So that law, I flip flopped on. Because initially it backfired on me. It backfired on us, because um, we made it seem too effortless, and then we co-signed it, and then everybody tried to do what we were doing. So now I want to show the actual progress. Our worst is going to be, you know, light steps, light years ahead of some people's best. So, and then just keep getting better and better and better and better. So I'm getting further and further out of the reach from you.
Yeah,
Does that make
we're
sense?
living. Yeah, we're living in the stratosphere at this point.
Right. So that's kind of the game plan now. Like, all right, show it and just get better. Now that it puts a lot of responsibility back on you. Now you got to get better and better. You can't just put, your best out here and digress. You got to
Yeah,
actually outdo yourself.
yeah, and that's one of the hard things to do, though, right? It's like when you have that power and that responsibility, it doesn't get any easier. It gets harder and harder and harder, right? And that's why I like your analogy about the iceberg. Because can you make it all the way up to the top? Because like the punches will always be there.
Right. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing, getting out of your comfort zone and getting better and better and better at it. So people that's they got people that's with a whole bunch of money that have podcasts that's super duper produced, and they got a bunch of money to advertise it, but coming from a nothing budget to you'll see what it becomes this time next year, and then we'll go from there. So
And then we can
um
revisit the laws of power every like 5 years.
right, let's go to law number 31 real quick, and this will be the last one for the night, and then we'll wrap it up. Control the options, get others to play the cards that you deal. Um, this is again, this whole little series is so important. This is what some of my favorite laws. This like right in the middle of everything. The thing is, with my mind is so light years ahead of everybody else. Um, I give two different ways with this. I think I talked about this earlier in the shows. I used to be a blabbermouth and talk about all these ideas just to get, eyebrows raised. So I would kind of shoot myself in the foot because people would be listening or just take a portion of my what I said and then take it and run with it. Now I kind of really know how to use this law. I'm only going to show you things that I'm already working on. Like the Power of Ownership podcast is we already working on that. We're already getting better. The books. I just pop up with a book. We're not even revealing the names of the book until they already come out or they already in pre-screen. We're not even going to reveal the subject matter. I'm not even going to tell you about up and coming things because what happens is as you talk about them, now you're actually putting more people in your lane. So you're actually you flashing your cards before you actually have a chance to play the card.
Yeah, it's true. You're just like, oh, look at my good hand. I have it right here for everyone to see.
Right. And so they can take that and plan accordingly. So with that being said, with me being one of those great minds, I bring a lot of things into fruition. My creative mind, I create a lot of things. So a lot of people that don't have that same creativity, they need people like me to they look and see what they could bite, basically, what they could steal. So I control the theft. If I don't show you anything so you can't steal anything.
Yeah.
And the stuff that you're going to steal, I'm already working on it. So we're going to be, according, like I said, what we talked about the rules before, we're already 3 steps ahead.
Yeah. And it's just a manipulation at this point. I mean, I hate to use that word, but I mean, it's just like if you're playing the field and if people are always going to be trying to attack you, like you said, trying to steal out all your information, then it's smarter not to show your cards. If you want like, oh, you want this card over here, you can have it. It's like, was it Go Fish, right, or Old Maid or something like that? One of those
Right.
games.
Right. Well, yeah. People will steal your ideas. I think I talked about this on 8. You give people ideas, they will steal them, and they will steal them with no remorse whatsoever. So the people that have great minds, the creators, you have to be cognizant. You have to be aware of this. Sometimes we could be our own worst enemy. We try to impress people with our brilliance. That's not how you do it. Talk is cheap. Impress people with actions. So just do it, show it, and if people try to bite it, like, hey, I got record now. I got records. Hey, this show, the Power of Ownership, has been going on since such and such time. This book, I've already got the book published. I've already shot this particular pilot on this show or whatever, or already shot wrote the script on this particular play that I'm
already sold my movie,
Right, it's already done. So you can now I have some copyright protection. When people go to steal it. So and people will steal.
Yeah. Sadly, that's just the world we live in. They're always trying to find shortcuts. There's not any shortcuts. So.
Well, I think I talked about this on an earlier show. You can either create, duplicate, or recreate.
I like that.
Yeah. So or last one is hate. So create, duplicate, recreate, or hate. And what I mean by that is that you could have and they say nothing is original under the sun. All right, so you use alchemy to take one thing and mix it with another and create something new. So people, you could duplicate that, just take it, and I'm not going to even put any effort into changing it. I'm going to take exactly what you've done and try to do my own version, just change the label.
Mm-hmm.
You can recreate, meaning that, all right, I'm going to take it and change one ingredient or change one element about it, and hey, I got something different. Or you could just not do anything and just hate from the sidelines.
Yeah, it's true. All those things are real powerful. Just whichever way you want to look at it, I guess, is like at that point you're dealing the cards, right? You are the dealer. You're choosing and picking and going which way you want to go, which direction.
Right, right. So again, you straight the options that people, if you're a true creator. Now, if people that's have hard times coming up with ideas and creations, that's a whole nother program. You need to meditate more. You need to get online. You need to get into something. We'll have to talk about that at a different time. But if you're
Oh, for
lacking
sure.
creativity, that shows your lack of commitment.
And it's not because people are not creative; they just don't know how to tap in.
They don't know how to tap in and they're not committed.
Hmm.
They have other stuff going on. You have other elements. I was talking to a brother the other day. One of the things if you're alcohol and smoking, that's one of those things that could, affect your hard drive. Remember, our body is like our hard drive, and our mind is that's the software. That's the software. Some people are running off of Windows 95. And with an old school, 1 hertz, 1 hertz hard drive.
Yeah,
So in no way possible you can run it. Are you running off of Vista? Or you running off of old Windows system, and other people are fine tuned and updated.
yeah. It's like there's a good Logic song called "Upgraded." You just got to upgrade. That's all it is.
Right. Well, you got to know how to upgrade. So a lot of people don't know how to do that. So
And that's why we're here to try to help them.
right. So again, family, now we're not gonna keep you too long. Do the outro real fast. Again, Brandon B. Dixon at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. I will be in Atlanta the last 2 weeks of this month. So if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're a realtor or a real estate broker and want to have lunch with me or have a consultation with me, one-on-one session, I'm doing free lunches. So call me 832-775-8357. Also, or you can DM me at my Instagram at Billionaire Loan Officer. Also, the God is a Verb t-shirts are available. Go to Instagram, go in the bio, buy merchandise. It's only about 8 more days for the God is a Verb. T-shirts. They're available in black and gray. So cop those. My book, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now. It's getting rave reviews. People are making a lot of money. They're doubling and tripling their income by, just following some of the steps that I have laid out. So money is there. So also it's mortgage season right now. So a lot of people are getting into houses before school starts. Now's the time, www.hocmortgage.com. Fill out the application. Let's get some mortgages going. Steve, I'll let you go ahead and
Yeah,
what you got going on.
you can find me at Steven Contreras 90 on Instagram and Steven Contreras on Facebook. Always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always usually online. Um, and yeah, that's about it on my side. Just make sure you click that like button, subscribe, share the video with all your friends. Talk about it if you have any questions, leave comments. We're always here to help. You just gotta reach out.
Right. So with that, I'm gonna say God is a verb and personal responsibility is your only savior. With that, I'm gonna say peace.
Peace.